It's what led him to drop the original list price of nearly $600,000 by more than $100,000 in a notoriously hot market.
Guys, oh man, I'm so excited to make this video. I woke up this morning and I knew something fantastic was going to happen today. It is mid-August 2018. I live in the Seattle area, and we're going to talk about a correction or a crash in Seattle. For any of you who've been following my channel, you know that I want to buy rental properties, but rising interest rates and rising house prices are killing the ability to invest in King County, which is this county that Seattle is in. Prices have gone up year over year, 11%, an insane rate. We're leading the nation in terms of major market increase in prices of homes for the entire country. It's ridiculous. But, the local news network, King 5 News, biggest one in the area, right? For those of you who don't know Washington very well, King County, or Seattle County, has 2 million people in it. Okay, Seattle itself only has like 650,000. We're in the, I believe, 21 or 22 for the largest city in the country. Probably should have looked that up before the video. My bad. What we're looking at is a correction or a crash. Now, if you're looking to buy a house, it's 2018, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I want to move to a different house, and you already live in this area, you're going to want to watch this video. Or maybe you're thinking, oh shoot, Amazon just offered me a job. I'm looking at moving to Seattle, son of a gun. What do I want to do? Where should I move? What can I expect to pay? You're going to want to watch this video. We're going to go over all of it. We're going to get through it relatively quickly. Let's jump right in. Okay, folks, so the reason I bring up the fact that King 5 News, right, the big news organization for our area, has done a story on the market crashing is because not only was it a crazy story, and we're going to make cuts of it here in this video, but if newspapers and news articles and news stations are actually noticing trends going on and starting to report it to the public, that means people are going to consume that. It's going to affect the market. So we're going to see whether or not we flatten out, or if the crash actually happens and we start to see this bubble, which I firmly believe we are in a bubble here in Seattle. Maybe not nationwide, maybe not in your area, but right here in Seattle, oh my God, 11% increases year after year. How can it be anything but? Let's talk some statistics real quick before we go to that video. Okay, so wrote some stuff down here. 10 years ago, we had 17,000 homes on the market, right? 10 years ago, 2008. Kind of the middle of the economic recession, right? 17,000 homes on the market. Right now, we only have 4,000 homes on the market. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, wow, that's a whole lot less than what it was 10 years ago. And you're right. For 10 years in a row, the inventory has gone down, 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 down. It has never ticked up. Down, 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 down for 10 years straight until May of this year, we had the largest amount of new listings for the King County area in 10 years. Inventory up, okay? Now, that one indicator by itself, well, you know, maybe just people are deciding to move around. Maybe the market's so hot, people are putting their houses on the market because they want to move. Maybe, but remember, we've had rising interest rates. So if you're looking to buy a house right now, it's the worst time to do it. Interest rates are going up. That means if you moved out of your house and back into the same house, your payment will go up just because the interest rates have gone up. Interest rates at the beginning of this year were around 4%. Right now, they're around 4.5%. That 0.5% increase in interest rates alone equals higher payments or a higher cost for each month when you pay your mortgage. 0.5% increase in interest rates would translate to an approximate 5% increase in the cost of your house. Let's also talk about cost of the home. So 2012, February of 2012 is when the housing price bottomed out in this area. The median house price was around $300,000. That was what it was averaging out in this area. Right now, today, the average cost of a home is $600,000. It's been 6 years and 6 months since that. 6 years and 6 months, and we have doubled in price from a $300,000 amount to a $600,000 ticket price for a freaking house in this area. It's so dang expensive, and it's killing people. So, is it a correction? What would a correction be? A smaller reduction in price value to help boost the real estate market health, maybe, right? So, it's been going up really, really quickly, 11%. That's unhealthy, okay? What would healthy growth of a home look like? Probably somewhere around 3 to 5%, just slightly more than inflation. We've been doubling it easily. So a correction would be, all right, well, maybe we're going to see prices return to what they were last year instead of what they were 6 years ago, which is kind of what we saw in the recession, right? Things went way up back 2007, popped, and plummeted. Is it going to happen again? Anyways, let's move on to what a crash would look like. Okay, so a crash, right, we're going to see prices drop 30, 40%. Is it going to happen? Maybe. The thing that we have working against a crash, which is good because, well, you don't want to crash unless you're like me and you're really trying to buy. Now, I don't want people to be underwater in their homes and thrown out in the streets just simply so I can profit, but with the insane amount of, and I'm going to call it greed, that's gone on in this area, and I'll show you why I call it greed when we cut to this King 5 article or video. The insane amount of greed that has gone on that has caused prices to go through the roof, both by the city and by buyers, or excuse me, by sellers. I mean, we need a strong reduction in prices. So Amazon, let's talk about companies that work out here in Seattle. You might have heard of them, okay? Number one, the biggest company like in the nation in terms of retail office space. They have over 8 million square feet of retail office space in Seattle. That's the most that any major company has in any major city in the country. It's astronomical. We've got Amazon. After Amazon, Boeing. You know, you ever take a plane? Yeah, Boeing. Microsoft. Shoot. Xbox, which of course is part of Microsoft. But yeah, most people, especially my age, probably have an Xbox or, you know, PlayStation 4, whatever. Starbucks, you might have heard. Yeah, we have a lot of big, large companies in this area. On top of that, it's one of the largest ports in the country, and it's one of the largest ports on the West Coast. You pretty much have California, Portland, and then Seattle. Ports bringing things in from Asia. I mean, this is a booming economy. So let's talk about whether this is going to be a crash or correction. The booming economy in terms of the job market are going to be what keeps it from turning or developing into a full-blown crash, because there are going to be so many people moving into this area that it's going to keep the demand for houses up, even if the prices are ridiculous. And remember, these are all mostly all high-tech, high-paying jobs. The average job, I can't remember the average income or the average salary for Seattle, something like $117,000 a year is the average. The average! And that's including the fact that we house 5% of the nation's homelessness, right? We're like the 22nd largest city with 5% of the nation's homeless people. So you take that to lower our average, we still end up with $117K a year. It's insane. It's crazy. Let's move into that article right now before I get distracted with some other numbers.
11259 Roseburg Avenue South is for sale.
It's a very nice place. It's been completely remodeled down to the studs.
Realtor Ahmad Rabi put it on the market nearly 4 months ago. That can feel like an eternity around Seattle.
It is a long time. We had predicted that the market was going to continue to go up. We overshot it.
It's what led him to drop the original list price of nearly $600,000 by more than $100,000 in a notoriously hot market. And he calls some of these large price drops a correction, not a bursting bubble.
Sellers in this area have been pricing very aggressively the past few years because they've been able to do that. That's one of the reasons that home values have increased so quickly.
He says home values are still appreciating 11%, though he expects that to slow to 7 or 8%.
Very rare to get this in South Seattle with this amount of room in a backyard. Which
is why a $100,000 price reduction doesn't bother Robbie.
We were overshooting it because the way we saw it is if it hits 600 or if it hits 550, that's still way over what we projected to sell it for when we bought it a year ago.
He just has to find the right family.
All right, guys, so I think the video speaks for itself, okay? If you watch that, and I will post the link to the full video, it's only like 2.5 minutes down in the description below. If you watch that with a, maybe cynical eye like I did, you probably picked up on a few things. Number one, he just pulled a price out of nowhere. Yeah, let's throw it on the market for $550,000 or $600,000. I mean, he just casually throws out a $50,000 price discrepancy as if it's nothing. No big deal. $550,000, $600,000. Either way, it's going to be more than we bought it for a year ago. Whoa, homie, hold up. All right, let's take a trip in the Wayback Machine. Now, for the Generation Z folks, who the oldest of you were 23, 10 years ago, you would have been 13, okay? 10 years ago, I was 17, all right? But for everybody else watching this, if you remember back to 10 years ago, What was happening back then? We were in a recession. What was one of the major reasons why? People were saying to themselves, well, yeah, I'll just buy a house today that I can't afford with money I don't have, but if I can just make the payments for a year, I'll put it back on the market and sell it for a 20% increase in profit. It's a no-brainer. And homie, realtor dude down in Burien, which is not a nice part of town, by the way. It is a crime-riddled area. I'm a cop out in this area. Trust me, I know. Homie goes, well, yeah, we bought it a year ago, and we just figured, we'd throw it on the market for $550,000 or $600,000. Either way, we'll make more than we bought it for, and it's a profit. Bro, you were literally admitting on news, live TV that, yes, I engage in the same idiotic, moronic real estate practices that caused the recession of 2007 and 8. Here's my name on the sign. Call my company. Like, what the flip are you doing? This is unhealthy, and this is really dumb. So, again, the video speaks for itself. Please watch it. Guys, if you watch this video, if you learned anything from it, please subscribe, please share, like, comment, do something, because I want to get information like this out to you and to other people like you who need this information. But I can't if YouTube doesn't think I'm anyway halfway good at doing this job, which, maybe I suck, who knows. If I suck, let me know, because any publicity is good publicity, right? Haters, hate all you want. Uncle G taught me that, okay? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next time.